And roughly, how big is your company in number of employees and suppliers?
Great. Novica is a mission-driven company. We have offices in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. We have a headquarters office in Los Angeles, California, and we work directly with artisans selling their handcrafted goods direct to customers all over the world. The U.S. is our primary market, but we sell a lot to the EU and sell to customers all over the world.
And where did you get the idea for your service?
The idea was, I would say, a fusion of grandmothers. My Peruvian grandmother was an artisan and an entrepreneur, and my American grandmother was a missionary, and she did long missions in Cuba, Vietnam, Mexico, and she's in her 90s now and still a major inspiration to all of us.
Products.
Our top three ways of marketing are: one, through strategic partnerships. We're big believers in strategic partnerships. For us, the most important strategic partnership has been the one with National Geographic. Number two, we love to sponsor fundraisers and fund drives. We work closely with National Public Radio, PBS, and also with local community groups. If local community groups would like to raise funding for charities or for sports teams or for school projects, PTAs, then that's something that we get behind, and I feel like that's a great tidbit of marketing knowledge for anyone that's looking to expand their brand and do it in a positive social way. Yeah.
What was the most important decision you made that supported your growth?
Our most important decision to support growth. I think there have been a few key decisions. One that comes to mind immediately is that having raised almost $20 million in venture capital, we decided that we were going to invest a lot of money in the infrastructure. So we went out and we built an international infrastructure for logistics, fulfillment, sourcing, and we did that instead of spending money on brand marketing. And I think that was a key decision. We built the infrastructure instead of spending on brand marketing.
What are the key skills and resources you need from your employees or suppliers?
In terms of employees, I think the most important thing is to have people that are team-oriented, that are self-starters. I think we have a team-based culture, and that's worked very well for us in terms of growth and in terms of our mission-based culture. So I think having a team player that's really important. In terms of our artisans, artisans need to be talented and creative, and artisans. One of the things they like the most about Navica is they have the chance to be artists. They don't have to sell their products and be worried about selling products. And I think that's exciting for them, that they can be creative and focus on the making process as opposed to the selling process.
Where did you get your startup financing from?
The startup financing for Novica came from myself, family, and friends. And later, we did a few institutional rounds. We were lucky to have some key institutions come into the company, such as National Geographic, Scripps Ventures, the IFC, and the Grassroots Business Fund, the GBF.
And what type of financing do you need that you do not receive in the marketplace?
In terms of financing that we don't receive in the marketplace, there's probably there's donor-funded projects that we'd be interested in pursuing. Grants, we're always open for grants. There's a few projects that we've done in the past, such as capacity building projects that have been very successful. So we're always looking for creative ways to raise financing. Governments have been very supportive of Navica. We feel very lucky that we've counted on the support of governments in the different locations where we have offices. Not only do we support economic development, but we also stimulate tourism. Partly because the way that customers come into the website, they'll go and they navigate from region to region, and they get to know Peru, for example. And then they purchase an item from an artisan in Peru, and that item then gets shipped to them directly from Peru. And then later on, when it's time for them to think about travel plans, they may say, well, you know what, I'd like to go to Machu Picchu. And governments, I think, see this, and different tourism boards have really supported our efforts because of this. So that's one way the governments, one example of how governments have supported our efforts. In terms of inhibiting our efforts, I would say certain countries where we operate, they can be a little bit bureaucratic, especially when it comes to import-export. One country that comes to mind specifically would be Brazil. We love Brazil. Many of the Navica team members are from Brazil. But I would say that there's certain legislation and certain extra paperwork needed for exports, and we look forward to the day where more efficiencies are created in that area so that we can then more efficiently export out of Brazil.
What in the business culture and environment supports or inhibits your growth?
In terms of the business environment, we've received a lot of support from local chambers of commerce and different sectors within the business community and the different regions that we operate in. So no complaints there. Normally we've had people open doors for us, and I think it's because of our social mission. I think local businesses are very excited about us getting involved, promoting the country, promoting artisans, and Navik is sometimes seen as the World Cup for arts and crafts. And so I think it creates some national pride also, and local business communities have been very excited and happy to see their culture and their traditions and their history told in the way that we tell it to the world market. I think people are very proud of that.
Have you participated in a donor-funded project?
We have participated in donor-funded projects. One that comes to mind immediately is a capacity building project that we did with the World Bank SME group. We did a capacity building project to take small artisans and grow them into mid-sized artisans in 2 regions where we operate, in Peru and in Thailand. And that was very successful, and we were very happy about the results of that program, and we look forward to doing other projects like that in the future.
What is your 3-word description of entrepreneurship?
3-word description of entrepreneurship. Passion to build. Passion to build.
And who has been your role model or mentor?
My role model, I'd have to say my biggest role model has been Armenia Narcissian de Oliveira, the co-founder and president of our international operations. She is, besides her incredible career with the United Nations and human rights and all of her travels, and that she speaks so many languages, she's just a person that's 100% authentic. And I've really tried to model myself after her, and I've learned a lot from her. And I'm proud to say that she's a role model and my mother-in-law. Thank you.